Welcome back. Very late at night. There are 8 games in the NHL on Sunday, and it starts early and it runs all day. And yeah, there's overlap between all the games. So, all right, starting at 1 o'clock Eastern in the afternoon, which is 10 a.m. Pacific, the Edmonton Oilers in against the Carolina Hurricanes. So that's about 9 hours from now. So December 11th, these teams played in Edmonton. Carolina won that meeting 3-1. For the Oilers, where are they standing? They're 29-20-3. So their last 10, they're 6-4. They did win their last game. Big win over Florida, right? Now they get to go to Carolina. The murderer's row of teams right now is Tampa Bay, Carolina, Florida. Away from home, they're now 15-9-3. They're second in the wild card. The number 2 wild card in the West. They are 2 points ahead of both Dallas and Anaheim for that spot. So there's some clarity in where teams are at. It's 61 points to be above that playoff line right now, which is not bad. Anyways, Carolina's 36-11-4. Last 10 games, they're 6-2-2. They've won 4 in a row. At home, they're 18-4-2. They're 4 points ahead of Pittsburgh for first place in the Metro. They have 3 games in hand on Pittsburgh as well. Pittsburgh's playing, they're playing. They're hoping to win, have Pittsburgh lose, that kind of thing. If Pittsburgh wins and if Carolina loses, things get interesting fast, don't they? All right, and then an hour later, 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, the Buffalo Sabres in against Dallas. Dallas won the meeting on January 20th that was in Buffalo by a score of 5-4. For Buffalo, they're 16-29-8 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 2-7-1. They've lost 5 in a row in regulation. Been a rough time for them, which was expected. Away from home, they're 8-15-4. They are 25 points behind the second wild card in the East, which is Washington now. So 25 points back of a playoff spot. Dallas, on the other hand, they're 28-20-3. So the record's almost identical to Edmonton's. Last 10 games, they're 6-3-1. They lost their last game in extra time. At home, they're 18-7-1. Again, they're 2 points behind the Edmonton Oilers with 1 game in hand. As you can see, they're 28-20-3. And the Oilers 29-20-3. Then an hour later, 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, St. Louis and Chicago meet for the 4th and final time this year. Might be some fireworks. October 30th, 1-0 win for St. Louis. November 26th, the 3-2 overtime win for Chicago. February 12th, St. Louis wins that one 5-1. So St. Louis has come out of this meeting so far with 5 out of 6 points. They're going to look to make it 7 out of 8. For St. Louis, they're 31-14-6 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 6-3-1. They've won 3 in a row, so they're on a run. Away from home, they're 12-8-4. They're second in the Central. They're 3 points ahead of Minnesota, so they were very glad to see Calgary win tonight. On the other side of things, Chicago, 19-26-8. They're just looking to play spoiler. Last 10 games, they're 3-6-1. They won their last game against New Jersey. They're 9-13-4 at home. They're 15 points behind the number 2 wild card in the West, which is Edmonton. So 15 points out of a playoff spot. And again, just looking to play spoiler against their old rivals from St. Louis. Then at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific, the Senators, the Winnipeg Jets, it's late. Winnipeg Jets in against the Arizona Coyotes. November 29th, Arizona won this meeting 1-0. That was where Vejmelka goalied the Winnipeg Jets. January 4th, Winnipeg wins this matchup 3-1. The 4th and final meeting between these teams will be on March 27th. So for Winnipeg, they're 22-21-9 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 4-4-2. They did lose their last game. Away from home, they're 9-11-8. They're 8 points behind Edmonton. So they're fading at this point. And again, 8 points behind Edmonton. Just the math doesn't work in their favor. On the Arizona side, 14-34-4 is their record over their last 10. They're 4-6. They won their last game. At home, they're 7-19-1. If you take them lightly, they probably beat you. They're 29 points out of a playoff spot, so they're not mathematically eliminated, but pretty close. But they're only 5 points behind Seattle now. So Arizona has won enough games that they're putting in jeopardy their lottery spot potentially to Seattle. So with the wins that are being put together by Montreal, the wins that have been put together at a decent clip for Arizona compared to early in the season, Seattle may end up being that team with the best lottery odds on draft lottery day. Then at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific, the Pittsburgh Penguins in against the Columbus Blue Jackets. On January 21st, Pittsburgh wins this meeting 5-2. This is the second of 4 meetings. So they'll meet again on March 22nd and April 29th. They will wrap up their season against one another. For Pittsburgh, 32-14-8 is the record. Over their last 10, they are 5-4-1. They won their last game, which was today against the Rangers, 1-0. Away from home, they're 17-6-3. They're second in the Metro, 1 point ahead of the New York Rangers, who also play tomorrow. So this is going to be an important matchup. And for Columbus, they're trying to get back into that relevance. They're 27-24-1, so they have 55 points. Over their last 10 games, they're 7-3. They lost their last game. At home, they're 14-10-1. They're 13 points behind Washington. They need some help. It's basically they have to keep winning 7 out of 10. They cannot afford to play any kind of 500 hockey over a 10-game period. That would sink them. They have to keep winning and winning regularly. They need to win tomorrow against Pittsburgh. They have 1 game in hand on Washington, but again, 13 points back. It's a lot. They need some help, and they're going to need to keep helping themselves. Then an hour and a half later, 7:30 Eastern, which is 4:30 Pacific, the Vancouver Canucks in against New York Rangers. The Rangers lost this matchup against Vancouver 3-2 in overtime on November 2nd, a game that Vancouver miraculously won. Now, trips to the East Coast, not generally favorable for Vancouver, and this dates back about 3 years now, where they go to the East Coast, and that's where your playoff dreams go to die. So we're hoping, Vancouver fans would be hoping that this is going to be different. 25-22-6 is the record now for Vancouver. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. They've won 2 in a row. Away from home, they're 13-12-3. They are 5 points behind Edmonton, but they've played 1 more game than Edmonton. So they need some help, and they need to keep up their good record as well. On the Rangers side, they are 33-14-5 overall. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. They did lose that game today against Pittsburgh. They're third in the Metro. They're 6 points ahead of Washington. So Washington's hopes of being top 3, not dashed, but getting closer. And if the Rangers win this game tomorrow, that puts them 8 points back. It gets a little dicey. An hour later, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, the Anaheim Ducks at home against the New York Islanders. For the Islanders, 19-21-8. They lost tonight. They're 3-5-2 in their last 10. The last game was a loss. Away from home, they're 9-11-4. They're 19 points behind Washington. They're 19 points out of a playoff spot. So, yeah, this is the first meeting, though, between these teams. So, we'll see how it goes. The second meeting will be in New York on March 13th. The Anaheim Ducks, 25-20-9 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 4-4-2. They lost their last game. They're 14-9-4 at home. They're 2 points behind Edmonton. They've played 2 more games. So I'm wearing an Anaheim jersey because I think they've got a good chance of winning this one. Islanders on the second half of a back-to-back and much further out of a playoff spot than Anaheim. Anaheim should have some jump. We'll see how it goes. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, the day finally wraps up with the Seattle Kraken in against San Jose. The one matchup that Seattle does well with. They've beaten San Jose both times they've played them. On December 14th, they beat them 3-1. January 20th, they beat them 3-2. The fourth and final meeting will round out the season on April 29th, so we'll see how it turns out. On the Seattle side of things, they're 16-33-5. Over their last 10, they're 2-7-1. They had an overtime loss in their last game. Away from home, they're 7-16-2. They're 24 points behind Edmonton. And again, they're only 5 points ahead of the Arizona Coyotes. San Jose, 23-23-6 overall. Last 10 games, they're 2-4-4. They did lose their last game in regulation. At home, they're 12-12-3. They are 9 points behind Edmonton. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting matchup to round out the day. And again, all of these games overlap, so I will be watching hockey all day tomorrow and finding time for video stuff during intermissions. And that's about it. No treadmill time tomorrow. That'll have to be on Monday. It means I usually do more treadmill time. I do 6 miles instead of 5 on the treadmill because I haven't done it for a couple of days. And I looked at next weekend, it's probably going to be the same. So there you go. It is right now as I'm wrapping this up, 12:49 a.m. Here for me. So my day started at 9:30 in the morning, finishes at almost 1 in the morning the next day. Yeah, long day. All right. So I apologize for any misspeaking that I did during this video. I'm sure there was at least 1 or 2 that I didn't catch. But hey, it's been a long day. Let me know your picks for any of these games in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.